Hey friends, today's video is very real and unfiltered because I'm living the exact same thing that so many of my perimenopausal clients and menopausal clients are walking through right now. And hey, if you don't know me yet, I am affectionately known as Dr. Rose or Dr. Rose Hollow. I'm a board certified new naturopathic doctor, and I specialize in women's health and hormones. And you can see I just had a brain fart, which is part of this whole thing that I'm going to talk to you about. So, if you are right here with me in your 40s, 50s, 60s, this is a season when your hormones are changing or have just changed a whole lot, which usually means that your sleep is changing, that your stress tolerance is changing, that your relationships can feel a lot different, and your body is asking for something you might not even really fully know how or what to give it yet. And, instead of talking at you as a practitioner, I want to talk to you as a fellow human who is right there in it with you. So, perimenopause, for example, that's where I'm at in my mid 40s right now. It's not just about hot flashes and skipped periods, although yeah, the hot flashes can be pretty intense, let's be real. But it's also for me waking up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. This is something, my sleep is something I've worked on for a very long time. And it is so nice when I'm sleeping really well. I think like I finally got it and everything's going great, and then it kind of unravels again, and sometimes I'm not even sure why that happens. It could just be the transition, getting closer to menopause. But I feel like every time I really start to get back on track, then I'm thrown another challenge with that. So if that's happening to you, we are in the same boat, sister. Also, blood sugar crashes, which can really contribute to those nighttime difficulties. Feeling wired and exhausted at the same time. This is something that I've been experiencing a lot more this winter. I don't know if it's a little bit of cabin fever mixed in because I'm in the Midwest. And if you know anything about what's been going on with the weather in the Midwest this winter, well, that probably explains a lot. And then having more inflammation, more pain, um, feeling a little bit more sensitive to stress, and a nervous system that no longer really lets me push through the day the way that I used to. On the flip side, there's something that I kind of like about this era that I'm living through, and maybe you've noticed this too, but I'll go back. I think back to my childhood and my younger adult years and how there were women in my family and in my life that were just kind of in the I don't care club. If you know somebody like this, you know what I mean. They say what they mean what they say. They don't mess around. They don't deal with the BS. They just tell it like it is. And that doesn't mean that they're always mean about it. It just means that they're bold enough to stand up for themselves or for people or causes that they believe in. I'm noticing that about myself too. While I have a lower sensitivity to stress, I also have a lot more courage. And so I just want to point that out and be grateful for that part of it right now for me. But, with all of that, life just kind of piles on top. Life just keeps on lifing. Like, as something I like to say to my clients, we can be doing all the right things and life will keep lifing. Stuff happens. And for me in my life, that looks like, parenting stress or even co-parenting stress, school meetings, work responsibilities, relationship uncertainty, even loneliness sometimes, being a single mom when my kids go away, trying to find things to do that are fun and keeping myself busy. While on the other hand, needing to get caught up on all the chores and not having a lot of extra energy. So, if this resonates with you, which I bet a lot of you do, we feel like we can't carry a lot of times what our life really requires of us. There's just so much that we're carrying. And this doesn't mean that we are weak. I don't think I'm weak. I don't think you're weak. This is more to do with the type of lifestyle we're expected to live in this modern westernized world, coupled with hormonal and metabolic shifts that happen during this kind of middle part, to middle late part of our lives. So, in our 20s and 30s, we could all run on adrenaline and really not pay so much for it. And many of us did, and I think I did that too. But at some point, when you're getting into perimenopause, a lot of us tend to have this perfect storm that happens these days where we've been running on stress hormones for so long. We've been crash dieting, we've been part of hustle culture, we are perfectionists, we are in abusive relationships, or we have money problems, or all these things happen, the death of a loved one, divorce. Lots of things happen. Plus, we're kind of in that vulnerable state of that midlife transition. That's what I call that perfect storm. And we just can't run on stress hormones anymore. I mean, a lot of us really hit a wall where we can say, for me, it was my 40th birthday. Something happened right around that time that really caused my health to unravel. And I know what that was, and I won't get into that right now, but I just had the perfect storm of hitting perimenopause in a time when my body and my nervous system were not in a very good place. So, um, then when that happens, our bodies say, we're not doing this anymore. It's for some of us, we just kind of completely shut down. For others of us, we really struggle hard, and that's when people come to me. Um, but because your progesterone, your calming, stabilizing, anti-anxiety, pro-sleep hormone is the first to decline, this is part of why we are set up for this perfect storm to really take a toll on us. So the same life stressors that we could have been dealing with during our fertile years now feel a lot bigger, heavier, more overwhelming, more emotional. And this is the part that no one really talks about. You don't just lose stress tolerance, you lose your ability to feel emotionally buffered. So things can feel a lot more lonely, more uncertain, more tender. And that's not a mindset problem. So if you think that this is some sort of character defect that you have in yourself, throw that out the window because this is a physiology issue. Okay, this is not you losing your ability to be tough or not being courageous enough or something like that. It has to do with your physiology. So if you go somewhere and they are just like, here, take this SSRI, fire that person. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, Not to say that medications are not needed at times if it's a life-threatening situation. I don't want to write people off like that. But what I'm trying to say is this is a physiology problem, whether or not you need meds. So when let's say you've trained yourself to undereat, undernourish yourself, you're not getting enough carbs and protein, you are over exercising at this point, you're running on stress hormones, you're really just setting yourself up for this perfect storm to happen where you will start to have those symptoms like night sweats, early waking, morning anxiety, headaches, heart palpitations, afternoon crashes, because your low blood sugar at night equals a cortisol and adrenaline surge. And that's not even really a sleep problem, that's a metabolic safety problem. And your body is doing the right thing. It's trying to keep you alive. I mean, it's waking you up to say, hey, lady, I need fuel. Please feed me. You didn't feed me enough today, and now I'm starving. That's what's happening. So, for those of us that are feeling extremely emotional during this time after enduring such a long and difficult winter here, if you live where I live, um, and then you have perimenopause or early menopause thrown into that mix, your brain is becoming much sensitive to rejection, uncertainty, disconnection from our social network, overwhelmed. I think social media has something to do with this as well. So if you're finding yourself thinking, why am I so emotional? Why do I feel so alone? Why can't I handle things the way that I used to? Please hear me on this. You are not regressing. Your body is just asking you for a new way of living. So most hormone protocols, if you're interested in something like that, only look at estrogen and progesterone. But what I see in clinical practice and what I'm walking through myself, I really believe that the drivers or the root cause of this is nervous system safety, so important, blood sugar stability, mineral balance, inflammation load, and having the right type of emotional support or support system in your life, whether that's a professional or friends or loved ones or a whole lot of all of that. We need to have these things in place. And supplements, I'll mention that for a minute too, because I have a lot of questions about supplements, and I'm not against using supplements. They're supplemental. That's what they're there for. But we have to remember that we cannot supplement our way out of a life that our nervous system does not feel safe in. And we can't mindset our way out of having low progesterone when ovarian function slows down and having unstable glucose. I mean, yeah, we can do all the meditations and all the mindset work and everything, but none of that is going to change those biological things. You need both the physiology part of this and the nervous system part of this, or the mental health part of this. I hope that makes sense. So, I'm going to share with you some of the things that I'm doing right now to help myself through this very exciting roller coaster ride that life has dealt me. Um, so getting enough carbohydrates, and I'm talking about healthy carbohydrates, fruits and cooked vegetables can be really, really important. As far as sugar goes, I do not advocate being afraid of sugar, especially when it's in the form of fruits and fruit juices, honey, maple syrup, things like that. I really like what salt does for me. I can attest as someone who, with long COVID developed high blood pressure, that salt is not my enemy. It actually is very helpful for me, and a lot of people do not have enough sodium in their diet. And I can say more about that in another video if you want me to. Just leave a comment and let me know. Um, a lot of women I work with are not eating consistently throughout the day. They're skipping breakfast, some are skipping lunch. We need to eat consistently throughout the day. Pair your carbs with proteins if you can. Eat every few hours if possible. Take a snack with you. Learn how to prepare yourself for your day without skipping meals and snacks. That's really important. Right now, when I'm making this video, it is the middle of February and it is cold outside. It's not as cold as it has been, but it's been a pretty brutal winter. And part of stress on the body, stress is cold and it is dark. You know, I think about like the dark side. Let's get real cold and let's get real dark. That's stressful on the body. Now, in the winter time, it's colder and it's darker. So modern technology allows us to have ways to heat our bodies. So things like infrared sauna can be really helpful. Also, just, wearing layers, keeping your feet warm, keeping your body warm. If you have access to a safe um, space heater or something like that. I keep one under my desk and it has like a mist, that helps my sinuses. And so it's humidified, warm air. Um, and then, on days where it's nice enough to be outside, actually getting outside anyway, dressing for the weather, getting out, getting that sunlight in your eyes, on your skin, whatever you can expose, and really soaking that in. I went for a wonderful walk the other day. It was in the 50s for the first time in a very long time. And my daughters and I went for this beautiful walk in nature, and the sun was shining on our faces, and the birds were out and chirping, and we were listening to the birds, and my daughter was identifying all these different types of birds. And there was still snow on the ground. It was just like a beautiful, beautiful winter day. And just getting out and getting that fresh air and sunshine did a wonder for all of us. We were all a little bit grumpy and from being stuck in the house for so long with the bad weather and the illnesses and everything. It really helped us all. So and that comes into the gentle movement part. I think exercise is so important, but as we age, um, cardiovascular exercise does not become as important, or rather becomes even more detrimental for some of us than just getting getting steps, walking and doing some weight bearing exercise and doing things to help us with flexibility, whether that's yoga or just some sort of stretching. Those are the things where we need to really put our focus. So we are keeping our muscle strength and our bones really healthy. Progesterone support. If you've watched anything from me or you have worked with me in any capacity, you know that I am a huge advocate of bioidentical progesterone. It changed and rather saved my life at one point. And it's also the reason that I have my youngest child, here on earth today. So I am very grateful for bioidentical progesterone and for the patent that we have on that allows all of us to access this very safe, very helpful, and calming um, hormone over the counter. So um, that is a big part of my life, and I use it every day, and it has helped me tremendously with so many things. Including migraine headaches, which has been a very big challenge for me in my life. And then I'm trying to do some anti-inflammatory support. Um, Doing some things to support my gut health, things like that, and then trying to be as consistent with it on a daily basis as I can. Now, this waxes and wanes. I mean, again, we just got through a difficult season where we all had back-to-back colds, flu, COVID, ear infections, bronchitis, pneumonia, like these different things. It's really crazy. Did we get off track with some of our healthy habits? We sure did. We sure did. But I'll tell you what, we're coming into the spring season, and you know what? You fall off the wagon, you sit there, you tend to your wounds, and then you get up and you get back on the wagon again, right? So, and change it up, make it interesting so you can stick to it, make it fun. That's what I try to do anyway. And then the biggest thing of all, the biggest takeaway from this video is really um, letting this be a season where I need more support and I seek out the support that I need from my network, from my people. So, in the past, as a rather type A person, which some of you might identify with as well. I'm a rather independent, stubborn person who felt like asking for help was a shameful thing to do. And I have learned better, and I have begun reaching out for help and support when I need it from the appropriate people and places. So I really encourage you to do that too. If you feel like you're not getting the support you need in your life and you're really at a crossroads and you're struggling, it's good to have those people in place. Now, should we wait until we're in a crisis to try to find those people? No, we should try to find them before that. We all need friends, family, loved ones around us that we can count on. Um, so if you don't have that in place now, whether you're struggling or not, I really encourage you to try to find that. Um, so if you are kind of in this season of life with me and you're feeling more anxious, tired, inflamed, emotional, kind of alone, you are not broken. I am not broken. We are in a metabolic and hormonal transition that really requires a different strategy than the one that worked for the first half of your life. And that's totally normal and okay. All right? And this is the work that I do with women every single day. It's not just about balancing lab results, which we do. We do functional lab testing. I won't leave you hanging on that. But we want to help you feel safe again. We want to help your body and your mind, your nervous system feel safe again. And that's where the real healing begins. It doesn't begin with lab testing. It begins with what do we do, whether we have information or data or not, what are we going to do moving forward? So if this video resonated with you, here are some ways to work with me. You can hire me to work with you one-on-one. You can watch some more YouTube videos. You can schedule a clarity call to develop a plan for the absolute best chances of achieving the goals that you have for your health. Um, Disclaimer, I'm not a mental health professional. I am not a medical doctor. I'm a naturopathic doctor, and I do not prescribe medications. So if you need somebody for that, I'm not the person for that, but I work in conjunction with other practitioners. And we use a root cause approach. We use a natural lifestyle based approach. We do work with supplements. We do administer functional lab testing if that's something that you like. We also offer standard lab testing if you need it. Um, but if I could, or I should mention, we have a school group too, which you can join for a low membership fee. Every month you can get in there and ask questions. If you're kind of a DIYer and you're on a budget, that's a great place to go. So if you check the description of this video, you will see all the different ways that you can interact with me. We have a free group on Facebook. We have our paid membership group. We also work one-on-one with people. And by we, I mean me and my colleague, Amy, who's a board certified health coach. Um, but whether you work with me or not, or how you work with me, I'm going to have you start with this. I am going to challenge you to eat regularly throughout the day. If you are not doing that yet, if you are not eating 3 meals a day and having snacks when it's appropriate, and having, making this healthy, whole foods focused approach, um, you're really missing out. Anything that you do with anybody is not going to work if you are under fueling yourself. So if you've been avoiding carbohydrates, I really encourage you to consider adding those back in, the healthy carbohydrates. You want to do something to work on supporting your nervous system every day. And if you need ideas for that, there are tons of them. Just do a search online, look on YouTube, tons and tons of videos for that. And lastly, if you aren't feeling good, please try to stop pushing through everything. You need to figure out how to give yourself a break. Do you need to delegate tasks to somebody else? Ask for help, pay for help, or just maybe leave some things undone in your life. It is amazing how life goes on, even when my floors are dirty and my desk is dusty. Life does go on. So sometimes we need to reprioritize things and give ourselves a little bit of break because you know what, our body is not the enemy, but it does need to be treated like the temple that it is. And it's asking for you to be cared for in a new way. Yourself is asking yourself to be cared for in a new way going forward. So, in closing, I want to remind you that you are not too much. You are not falling apart. You are not alone. You might be in perimenopause, you might be in early menopause. That's normal. And there is a path through this that feels grounded, supported, and hopeful. And I'm walking it with you. I'm right there with you, girl. I'll see you in the next video. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, share this video with somebody that might need a little bit of encouragement today. And join us for the next one. And leave a comment if you have any questions or comments. And I love suggestions for new videos, so leave those in the comments too. Thanks so much.